And we are back with another episode of Kids Deserve It. While people get joined in, I'll give you all a little bit of time to get joined in. As always, I love to see where people are joining in from. So while I give some time for people to get joined in, if you can go ahead and share where you are from. Brandy, that's one of my, I know Brandy from Florida. Awesome. And I appreciate Kate and Jordan for sharing it out on Twitter. Awesome. Nicole, y'all must be from Caldwell in Florida, that elementary in Florida. That's awesome. North Carolina, Maryland, lots of Florida today. Roman from Canada. Awesome. Yep, lots of Caldwell teachers. Louisiana. Great. Hey, Stephanie's on too. Awesome. I love seeing all these familiar faces that are on here today. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining our weekly chat about Kids Deserve It. We are on chapter 23, so we are getting closer and closer to the end of Kids Deserve It. This chapter is probably one of our shortest chapters. It's only 2 pages long. But I think it's a really powerful chapter and a very important lesson for us to remember as we go through and do different things. This chapter is called The Battles We Face. And we started the chapter just listing a bunch of battles that educators in particular face. Battles like not having enough money, or no support, or lack of involvement, or the hours that exist, or the expectations that are placed on you. We have a lot of battles that we face as educators, but even more so than that, we have a lot of battles that we face just as human beings. And it's important to remember that every one of us is fighting battles, and that sometimes those battles leave a lot more damage than others. And we have to figure out a way to handle ourselves as we go through these battles. It's so interesting to me that this is the chapter for this week, because my staff, or not my staff, but on my campus, we've started doing a weekly Bible study on Wednesday mornings. And this is very similar to what we talked about this morning in our Bible study, weirdly enough. But it's hard to remember that, or it's hard for us to comprehend, I think would be the better word, that when we go through battles, to go through them with other people. To be able to share our struggles, to share our pain, and walk through that with others. Because so often what happens is we either don't want anybody to know that we're struggling, or we're embarrassed by it, or we think we can handle it on our own, and we try to handle it completely on our own. And you know what? Sometimes some of the battles aren't that hard to fight, and we do handle them okay on our own. But some battles are much heavier, and we have to learn to rely on people. And one of the things I talked with my group about this morning is, sometimes I feel like I have amnesia. It's like when I share some of my struggles and some of my battles with those closest to me, they provide me with support, they provide me with prayers. It's just a great thing to have them around. And then it's like, for the next time that I struggle with something, it's like, okay, I'm not going to tell anybody this time. I don't want to put anything on them. I don't want to add to their load. And it's like, what am I doing? Last time, I allowed myself to let my friends help me fight my battles, and it worked. So why am I acting like it's so terrible? And so it's one of those things that I forget. And we have to find our people. I think about some people in my life, and there's so many things that are going on with people that are close to me right now, whether it's professionally or personally. I've got a friend who is dealing with the soon-to-be loss of their grandmother and trying to understand how to deal with that, but also have a job and keep their commitment to their kids. I have a friend who is just having a very difficult time at their school, and just not feeling supported or appreciated, and just kind of attacked for trying to be out of the box thinkers, and getting that alien look and just feeling like, where are my people? I don't feel like I'm understood. I've got a friend who's just got a lot on their plate with organizing things, and they've got they're in the middle of conferences and got a big keynote coming up in a few months, and just trying to get those things situated. I've got a friend who is dealing with their parents splitting up, who've been married for years, and drug and alcohol abuse. And there's so many things that are going on in our lives that we are still expected to go to work every day and show up for those kids. And you know what? That is an important expectation. We do have to show up. Like we've talked about in other Kids Deserve It chats, we have to leave it in the car. We have to go up every single day and be our best for our kids. But the fact of the matter is, you have to lean on others, and you have to find your people. And I know some listening are teachers at schools where they don't have their people,
and they haven't found that person to kind of connect with. And to think about those, I mean, I connect with them because I've been there before where you were like, I don't have anybody else. And that's where, to me, connecting on social media has really been a lifesaver, because it has allowed me to find my people and grow alongside of them and have them encourage me, but also challenge me. And I think that's really important to remember, that I don't want to find people in my life who are just going to be an echo chamber and tell me everything's great, oh, I'm just killing it. It's like, no, I need people who are going to do that, but also keep it real and tell me when I need to snap out of it, or when I'm acting like an idiot, or different things like that. And I need people too. For me, it's important to keep my focus on the right things. Sometimes in the midst of our battles, we tend to focus on what's not going right, or what we could be doing, or what we're not doing right, and things like that. And we forget the great things that we're doing. My school being an underperforming campus, we are often very discouraged as we try to figure out how to get out of the hole that we've been placed into. And so we have a coach who's assigned to us from the state that comes about once every 2 or 3 weeks. Her name is Delise Lloyd. She's amazing. We have Becky Harrison who works with us too. But it's just so nice when she comes in and she sits down with us and we look at the data and we talk about the kids and we talk about the work that we're doing, and she just sits there and says, here are some great things that you are doing, and here are some ways that you are on the right path, and here's some ways we're going to push that even harder. And it's great to get those almost dropped my phone. It's great to get those outside perspectives too, who aren't in the middle of it. And I think that's why it's important that we have to share our battles as well, is that we need people who are not in the midst of our struggles, who can help us keep our focus. I was talking to a friend yesterday who was just really beaten down by some stuff going on at their school. And I just had to keep encouraging this friend and just telling them, you are doing great things. And it's so funny as educators how quickly we beat ourselves up and how quickly we act like we're not doing the right thing. I am so guilty of that myself. And so that's why I think this chapter, even as short as it is important to understand that, yes, there are very important battles going on in education. Very important battles for curriculum, for resources, for not biting off more than you can chew, difficult kids, difficult parents, difficult administration, difficult central office, questioning whether or not you're really meant to be in this career and if this is for you. I mean, all of that is going on all the time. But when you find your people, and you connect with them, and you don't allow yourself to make excuses either, because I've heard teachers say, well, it's just so negative on my campus, I just don't know what to do. You know what? We control our environment. And so if it's negative on your campus, find some people who are positive, whether it's online or in real life, and spend time around those. Because if you're going to be the one, and I love right there, what was just typed in, be the change. We can be the change. I've said once before, either in an interview or a keynote, that it's hard if you're surrounded by negative people. Flood them with encouragement and positive, because it's hard to be really negative when the people around you are constantly telling you how awesome you are. And so that's important to remember. And so as you go and as you face battles, as we all will every day, I hope that you take the time to lean on others and allow them to help you carry the burden. It's not a disservice, and it doesn't do anything. It doesn't make anybody's think less of you. I always tell my brand new teachers, the only thing that you're going to do that's going to make me upset is when you need help and you don't ask for it. And I just love that my first year teachers that I have on my campus this year are just so hungry for help that they come all the time and ask and look for ideas and resources. And it's so refreshing to know that I'm surrounded by people who aren't afraid to say, I don't know what I'm doing. Or I know I could be doing this better, but I don't know how. Or help me deal with this kid. Because we have to lean on each other. Because that's the only way we're going to make it through this. And so I hope that you have a great rest of your week. I hope that you join our Twitter chat in just a couple minutes as we discuss this chapter more in depth. And I will see you all next week for the next chapter. Have a great week, everybody.